Hi everyone, my name is Jenny, and in this video I'll be sharing with you the highlights of this year's Watches and Wonders, as well as the two watches I think are a total miss. But before we get started, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more watch-related content like this one. Though I myself am more of a fan of the Portofino, IWC has now released a watch from another product line that I think is a really interesting and smart move. Before this year's Watches and Wonders, you'd only get an IWC Engineer vintage, out of the 80s and rarely in great condition, but now you'll be able to buy a modernized Engineer sporting a 40mm diameter. And yeah, like I said, a really smart move by IWC, since watches with an integrated bracelet are, really well received, since others like the Royal Oak or the Nautilus have been pretty popular since, the past couple of years. So a total legit move from IWC with their Engineer and its heritage. I think my favorite colorway has to be the petrol green dial, since this is a color we have not really seen it often before, but there are two things I'm rather, bummed about with this one. First off, the built-in movement 3211-1 is a basic Richemont caliber, so not a proper in-house movement. And yeah, secondly, it still comes with a price tag of over $10,000, but I think the pre-owned price is going to look a bit less steep, so I guess that's okay. Patek has also been hitting it really hard this time, and there are three watches that stand out here to me. First of all, there's this Grandmaster chime in, let's say how blasphemous to me the root beer colors in a color scheme. In case you're unsure about what a Grandmaster chime can do, it's the most complicated Patek with over 20 complications or functions. There isn't an exact price tag out, but I believe this is somewhere around the $2 million mark. I actually do know someone who is going to receive their Grandmaster chime soon, and I'm super excited to see how this one actually looks like in real life. Then there is the Aquanaut annual calendar, and I already prefer the Aquanaut over the Nautilus, so it's cool to see another addition to the line. Not only is the actual annual calendar complication pretty neat, you don't have to set the calendar for an entire year up until the 1st of March to bring it back in line, but also the color composition of it. It seems like rose gold and some sort of blue dial is trending this year anyways, and same goes for the next Patek. The 5905R continues the classic line with a new colorway. By the way, only 3 years ago you could get this one with a discount even. I remember that Kai was really close to buying one back then. So now you have a rich blue dial with a matching strap that goes really beautifully with the rose gold case, but as expected, the price has gone up significantly. Here in Germany, you would have to pay about 74,000 euros for it. Right, next up, I want to talk about the Jaeger-LeCoultre Vaso Hybris Artistica. I love me a rectangular case, and I love how each year JLC keeps adding to the Reverso line in both ways, looks-wise and, also from a technical perspective. So now we have a beautiful blue dial, again, with a stunning gradient going from the in to the outside, topped off with a gyro tourbillon. This creates a really cool 3D effect, and yeah, since this is a reverse, so you could flip the dial to reveal another skeletonized dial. For the very few lucky ones who are able to afford this one, this is really a watch they could, stare at for hours and still notice something new about it, I think. This year, there's also something really cool coming from Alain & Söhne. At first, the size chronograph might not seem that extra. It's regular central chronograph and a second hand. But there are two really cool features I would like to share with you. First up, those two pushes at 2 and 4 are usually to set the date on the regular Odysseus, but with this one, you clearly needed to set the chronograph, right? And yeah, Lange approached this problem in a way mostly watchmakers like Rolex are known for. They made it very simple for the wearer, so this is how it works with this chronograph. When the crown is pushed in, you use the two pushes to start and stop the chronograph function, with the bottom one being the one to set it back to 0. So nothing out of the ordinary here. But if you pull the crown out, you can set the time of the crown and use the pushes to set the day and the date. Another nice detail is that when the hand hasn't passed the 30-minute mark, it sets back by going backwards. And if it is beyond that 30 minutes, it sets back by running forward. It's not necessarily something you would absolutely need, but that's exactly the amazing thing with those high-end, complicated watches and watchmakers. They show you all, different kinds of ways to approach certain complications and how to solve them in a really nice way. Right, let's quickly talk about Rolex too. I think the main highlight for most is probably the exhibition case back on the new Platinum Daytona. I would have loved to see an exhibition case back on other models too, but I totally get how, perhaps only for now, who knows. Rolex has kept that feature for the anniversary model of their Daytona only. And I know how there are also lots of people saying how Rolex movements are pretty boring looking, but I have to disagree here. And yeah, I'm also aware that an exhibition case spec isn't groundbreaking either, but I'm not letting anyone ruin this for me. I like it. I mean, this is the first time we get to look at the movement unobstructed, and it reveals such a beautiful looking movement with a warm golden skeletonized rotor to top it off. This next Rolex isn't necessarily my favorite, but perhaps one of my favorite dial colors so far. The new rose gold sky dweller with this blue, or rather say like petrol colored dial. And like I mentioned before, it really seems like rose gold and blue is the color combo of the year, and I feel like Rolex has done it the best. Because it's only about the looks, Rolex has also updated the movement to a new caliber, which doesn't really affect the functionality in a big way, but it's definitely going to affect the price, of course. Since this watch is way too big for me anyways, I will never wear it, but I can't wait to, see the dial and the color in the flesh, hopefully soon. Right now, let's get to the releases of the year that turn out to be rather underwhelming, if not even really disappointing in some ways. First up, there's the Rolex Day Date with the emojis and the, feelings on the day and date display. When I first saw them, I thought this watch was a joke. Or, at least a really bad Photoshop, like, haha, look at this one. Because I couldn't really believe that Rolex would actually release something like that. But then I went to the official Rolex press release and, well, they turned out to be legit. I mean, I can still give the dial a pass, but to exchange the day and date with emojis and, the feelings plate, it just feels very TikTok-y to me. I don't know. I guess I'm not Gen Z enough to like this one. The other release in this chapter has to be one of the new Takaya Kaniras. Though I think that adding some more color is always a good idea. I mean, look at how successful Rolex and Omega were with their colorful dials, for example. I think Takaya really missed the mark with this hot pink one. Might be a bit nitpicky because, to me, that shade of hot pink really cheapens the watch, especially because of the sunburst effect. The minty green looks good though. At least I get everything in a 36mm diameter, which I'm a big fan of. And yeah, that was it. My personal highlights and, well, I guess lowlights from this year's Watches and Wonders so far. So now it is your turn to let me know in the comments down below which of the watches released this year were your favorites, which ones you did not like, and just your overall thoughts about this year's Watches and Wonders and the entire lineup from all the watchmakers. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel to not miss out on any new videos that I post here. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!